1001 Nights in the morning. This is night 351. Morning now dawned, and Scheherazade broke off from what she had been allowed to say. Then, when it was 351 night, she continued, I have heard, O fortunate king, that Abu Hassan al-ziyadi said, the Khurasanian told me, by God, had you told me the truth to start with, I would not have asked you to return my deposit. Now I swear that I shall accept none of it. I have no further claim on you for it. He then left me. He was the guy who was going to Mecca and left him the money, etc. I set my affairs in order, and on the procession day I went to al-Mamun's door. He was seated when I entered his presence, and after calling me to come up to him, he produced a document for me from beneath his prayer mat, appointing me as Qadi, in the holy city of Medina, with unlimited jurisdiction in the west side, starting from Bab al-Salam, and a monthly salary of such and such an amount. He adjured me to fear God, great and glorious, and to bear in mind that the concern that the Prophet of God, may God bless him, give him peace, had shown for me. The people present were astonished by what he said, and when they asked me what he meant, I told them the story from start to finish, and it became widely known. Goodness, strange. The Qadi, I think, is a judge or some figure. Abu Hassan remained as Qadi in the holy city of Medina until he died during the reign of al-Mamun. May God have mercy on him. No, these stories are true or made up. A story is told of a man who lost all his considerable wealth and became destitute. His wife advised him to approach one of his friends to see whether he could help to restore his fortunes. He went to the man who, on being told of his desperate position, lent him 500 dinars with which to start trading. That's like you do online arbitrage, like on eBay or Amazon. Start trading. At the start of his career, he had been a jeweler, and so, taking the money, he went to the jeweler's market, where he opened a shop in which to trade. When he took his seat in the shop, 3 men approached him and asked him about his father. When the man told them that he was dead, they asked whether he had left children. The servant who sits before you, the man replied, and they said, who can confirm that you are his son? The market traders replied, collect them for us so that they may bear witness to the fact that you are his son. When this had been done, the 3 produced a saddlebag containing 30,000 dinars, together with gems and precious metal, telling him that this had belonged to his father and had been left in the trust. They then left, and a woman came up and wanted to buy one of the gems from the bag. It was worth 500 dinars. But she offered 3,000, and he sold it to her. He then got up, carried the 500 dinars that he had borrowed back to his friend, telling him to take them as God had opened the road to prosperity for him. I gave you the money, said his friend, leaving it at the disposal of God. Take it and take this note, but don't read it until you are back in your house. Then act on it. The man went home with the money and the note. When he opened it, he found in it the following lines. The three who came to you were relatives of mine, my father, his brother, and my mother's brother, Salid ibn Ali. It was to my mother that you sold the gem for cash. The cash and the jewels were sent by me. In doing this, I did not want to lessen you, but to spare you the distress of embarrassment. The story is told that there was once a very wealthy. It's at the end of the story. He made the guy rich somehow. He didn't want to embarrass giving him the money or something. Make it look like he traded his way into it. A story is told that there was once a very wealthy Baghdadi who spent his money until his circumstances altered and he became reduced to penury, earning his daily bread only with the greatest difficulty. And one night he fell asleep, sad and oppressed, and in a dream a voice spoke to him, saying, "What God has provided for you is in Cairo. Follow and go to it." So he set out for Cairo. When he arrived there, it was evening, so he went to sleep in a mosque, which I don't know if you can do that. This happened to be near a house, and as God Almighty had decreed, a number of robbers entered the mosque and went on from it to the house. Their movements aroused the household, who raised the alarm, at which the wali and his men came to the rescue. The robbers fled, but when the wali went into the mosque, they found the Baghdadi asleep. He was seized and given so severe a beating that he nearly died. He was then imprisoned, and after 3 days the wali had him brought before him and asked him where he came from. On being told that he was from Baghdad, the wali asked him what he was doing and why he had come to Cairo. The man told him he had heard in his dream, told him what he had heard in his dream, and added, "When I got here, I found that what God had provided for me was the beating that I got from you." He got a beating. While he laughed so heartily that his back teeth could be seen, and then he said, "You foolish fellow, thrice in a dream I heard a voice telling me that in such and such a quarter of Baghdad there is a house of such and such description, where at the bottom and of a garden court there is a fountain beneath which is a huge sum of money." Oh God. The voice told me to go to Baghdad to fetch the money, but I did not go, whereas you in your folly went from one place to another because of some foolish dream that you saw. He then gave the Baghdadi some money to help him to get back home. So it seemed he followed his dream. What do you think? Should he have followed his dream? But where's this huge sum of money? Of course, there could be no huge sum of money. It's just a dream. You shouldn't follow your dream. A dream, unless it's a vision or something. 351 We are learning how to manage money and deal with your dreams. I guess. In my subconscious mind, I'm being modified. I'm being trained not to be so mean by reading Arabian Nights. Night 351.